Enhancing applications with caching. Applications can benefit by the use of various types of caching solutions. Application performance and availability can be improved through the use of caching services available in Bluemix. In this video presentation, you will learn about the features and understand how to use the Redis cache service available through Compose, the Bluemix session cache service, and the IBM WebSphere extreme scale container image. Why would a developer look to use a caching service? Using a cache can improve the response time of a resident application's presentation layer by caching responses to frequent user requests. For example, instead of slower interactions with the database that could be located in a distant data center and accessed over a secure gateway connection, data can be retrieved faster from a caching service. Generally speaking, caches provide a NoSQL-style key-value storage service. Caching services support the typical set of create, retrieve, update, and delete operations. Some caching services also include replication features for higher data availability. Following the 12-factor methodology, an external Elastic Cache service is highly preferred over a local in-application or in-application server cache due to difficulties of keeping caches in sync between application instances. Bluemix has managed services that can be used for data caching in addition to providing a Docker container image for WebSphere Extreme Scale so that you can build your own cache on Bluemix. What characteristics are needed from a cache? In a cloud computing environment, applications can scale massively. This places an additional requirement on application caching services. They must meet the criteria of being elastic. They need to consistently perform as volumes grow. They need to be able to be scaled without downtime. And they also must provide a range of fault tolerance levels. We'll look in detail at two elastic caching services in IBM Bluemix, Compose for Redis and Session Cache. Compose for Redis is a general-purpose caching service that stores application cached data in distributed caching servers. The Session Cache service is a specialized caching service that caches HTTP server session objects into the distributed caching servers for HTTP session replication. Both services provide cache data replication and failover capability in case of data loss. By using caching services in Bluemix, you can start applications or services quickly and scale out or scale up your application instances flexibly. Compose for Redis. In order to achieve its outstanding performance, Redis works with an in-memory dataset. Compose for Redis is a managed elastic caching service available on Bluemix. Rather than a simple key-value store, it is better to be considered a data structure server. Further, Redis keys are binary safe, and this means you can use any binary sequence as a key, from a string like foo to the content of a JPEG file. The empty string is also a valid key. Redis supports a broad range of values. Binary safe strings, hashes, which are maps composed of fields associated with values. Both the field and the value are strings. This is very similar to Ruby or Python hashes. Lists, collections of string elements sorted according to the order of insertion. These are basically linked lists. Sets, collections of unique unsorted string elements. Sorted sets, which are similar to sets, but where every string element is associated to a floating number value called a score. The elements are always sorted by their score, so unlike sets, it is possible to retrieve a range of elements. For example, you may ask, give me the top 10 or the bottom 10. Bit arrays, or simply bitmaps. It is possible, using special commands, to handle string values like an array of bits. You can set and clear individual bits, count all the bits set to 1, and find the first set or unset bit, and so forth. Hyperlog logs. This is a probabilistic data structure which is used in order to estimate the cardinality of a set. And geospatial items, sets of longitude, latitude, and name, which can be retrieved by key or by geographic radius queries. Redis is very popular and is used very broadly in many application scenarios by technology companies and consumer-facing internet applications. Here are some examples of how you can take advantage of Redis. Because of its high speed, It can be effective in low-latency, high-scale distributed applications, for example, individual or group chat applications. And of course, it can be used to store result sets from databases to reduce query load and speed responses. There are several SDKs and clients for Redis: Redis, Redis, Redison are Java clients, and IO-Redis, Node-Redis provide Node.js clients. Compose for Redis makes Redis cache even better by managing it for you so that you can focus on your application code. The Session Cache service improves application resiliency by storing session state information across many HTTP requests. It stores and persists HTTP session objects to the data grid and creates a seamless session recovery in the event of application failure. If a server outage occurs, application users do not lose session data. It provides a distributed session cache, special purpose in-memory cache for storing HTTP session data, which provides low latency data access and transactional semantics. It includes session failover. Data for each HTTP session of an application is immune to application instance server outages. Provides ease of use. No code changes required to applications that use the J2EE standard HTTP session cache. And it provides session replication. It replicates the session data to avoid a single point of failure. You can deploy the following application types when connected to the Session Cache service: support for Java applications written to use the Java API, and any application that runs in a Liberty runtime environment. Supported runtimes and build packs. To take advantage of the Session Cache, you can deploy the following application types using a Liberty runtime environment. You can deploy a standard WAR file into a Liberty runtime environment, or you can deploy an application which is built with the Liberty build pack into the Liberty build time environment. It's important to note that the Session Cache operates as a fault-tolerant singleton. Only one copy of the Session Cache instance should be created and bound to the application. The IBM WebSphere Extreme Scale container image is built on the core IBM WebSphere Extreme Scale technology. The caching technology loaded within this image fully supports JCache, JSR 107 specification and compliance. WebSphere Extreme Scale is available as an enterprise-grade container from the IBM Linux Container Service and can be deployed in a single container or in a Kubernetes cluster. Moving forward, WebSphere Extreme Scale can be used for functionality that is currently available through the Session Cache service. The following main highlights are available when you use the IBM WebSphere Extreme Scale image. It's an easy-to-deploy, easy-to-configure, distributed caching solution based on Extreme Scale technology. It has a simple and easy-to-use administrative console and REST API. It supports full customization to support all Extreme Scale caching use cases. It's an easily configurable image that integrates with your caching environment in minutes. And again, it provides JCache compliance to support JSR 107 caching specification. And this concludes our overview of how to enhance an application using Bluemix caching services. Thanks for listening.